Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Keiaradise. If you haven't already, please do subscribe, join the tribe, and follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Don't forget about TikTok. So, my last video I uploaded about my Shanghai apartment in the French concession and how it costs like $1,300 a month or 9,500 USD. At the time, it was not adjusted for inflation or anything, so who knows how much that apartment would be post-pandemic, or not post, after a global pandemic, and with markets being all madness, chaos, darling, chaos, I don't know. So adjust that for 2018, 2019 prices. Anyway, so I really want to talk about how to find an apartment in Shanghai. Hopefully this can help people who are thinking of moving to Shanghai or have moved there and or want to go there and find an apartment, yeah, or just curious, yeah. Even though China, the borders are not open yet, we hope they'll be open soon. Hopefully you can take away like some good advice from this video. Okay, let's get right into it. So at the time, which was 2019, 19, I moved into my apartment in October 2019, and October 2018, and lived there until April 2019. So before that, I had been living in Shanghai for like 4 or 5 years. I was a university student living at the Fudan University campus, but then when I found a job downtown, I was like, I really want to live in the French concession. And at the time, I really wanted a loft because I had a friend who had a cute little loft in the French concession, which was totally chic, and like it was a vibe. I don't know, I just loved it. It was tiny though, you know. And I was like looking online a lot from America because I was at home before I went back to China. I spent 2 months in America trying to do my work visa. So the way I found my place was through, of all things, Craigslist. Craigslist, yeah, they have a Shanghai Craigslist. And I think what I had done at the time, because actually I knew a lot of people in Shanghai, so it was quite easy for me to find an apartment, but I would just ask around to people if they had like realtors or something like that, because realtors are really easy to come by in Shanghai. But anyways, I remember like being on Craigslist, because the other thing that people often use is Smart Shanghai. And I'll put all this in the description box. Smart Shanghai is like an online bulletin for everything Shanghai, you know, from from like activities to do, to places to live, to job postings. They have everything on there. So initially I was like, oh, let me find my apartment through that. And then just in like Googling or whatever, I came across Craigslist, and I think all of the people listed on Craigslist spoke English, even though I do speak Chinese. But I messaged a couple people on Craigslist and met with, everyone will add you on WeChat, right? Like, so I got added on WeChat by I don't know how many people, and then they started sending me pictures of places and stuff like that. I was like, here are my requirements. You know, I want French concession, loft, bathtub, on line 10. It has to be on line 10. Line 10 was my line, okay? Because my job was all the way on line 10, and my university was on the other end of line 10. I'm like, I have to live on line 10. Period, poop. And I don't know. I think I viewed like 3 or 4 places, right? So one real estate agent who everyone had recommended, he was constantly posting in his WeChat Moments apartments, and the other real estate agent who I ended up working with, yeah, they were doing the same. I can't quite remember, but anyway, I remember the popular real estate agent was showing all these different lofts, and I remember he took me to some place. It was late at night, and not like late. It was like, I was already dark out, and then I went to go view it, and I was like, this is terrible. Like, I can't. No, I hate it. And he kind of copped an attitude with me. I didn't like that, you know? So I kind of just stopped talking to him. And then I remember the realtor that I had been working with, or that I had found through Craigslist, had told me like, oh, I found everything that you want in the French concession on line 10, even though it's a super long walk from the subway station, which was not okay. But it was a loft, and it had a bathtub. And that one that he showed me turned out to be 11,000 RMB per month. And it was just not giving what it was supposed to give. It was so old, creaks, and walking up these like really shoddy kind of stairs, like sketchy looking stairs. And then he showed me another one, which was like, it was okay. It was a lot better than the first one, but it was also a loft, and in turn like really small, but extremely expensive. And I was just kind of like, I don't think, and the price point was like crazy. Like, you know, like I told you, like 11 to 12,000 RMB. I'm like, I'm not going to pay that much to be living in a room that goes up the stairs to a bed with one room, or like a tiny kitchen, like a cabinet pretty much, a stove top, and a bathroom. I was like, okay. After they showed me that second place, I was like, we got to go to back to the drawing board, actually. Let's rethink a lot of, I don't need a loft anymore. Like, I still need it to be on line 10. I still need this. I still need that. And they're like, okay, how about we'll go back to the office and we'll draw up some plans, and then we'll reconvene with you. So fast forward to a couple hours later, they messaged me like, hey, we found like 3 places that we want to show you tomorrow morning. Are you available? Yes, I'm available. And he was like, okay, I think we should show you this place first, then that place, and then that place. Perfect, let's do it. Tomorrow, meet us on Songyuanlu subway station, metro station at, I don't know, 9 o'clock, something like that. And I'm like, okay, perfect, let's do it. And I think what I said was a 1 to 2 bedroom. Like, that was my new requirement, because he said to me that like lofts are inherently expensive. With that same amount of money, you could get a 2 bedroom. And I was like, perfect, let's 1 to 2 bedroom, let's do that. So the next morning, I went to the metro station and met them at I took a lift, or not a lift, a Didi. I took a Didi from the hostel I was staying in. I stayed in a really cute hostel called Migu Hostel. So when I met them at the apartment complex that we're gonna go look at, they were standing in front of the gate. And right when I get there, he was like, oh, bad news. I spoke with the landlord, and he said that he has someone up there and they're signing a lease now, and so the apartment is taken, so we can't go view it. And I was like, oh, okay. He's like, but that's okay, we can just go to the next place. And we're in the car, we get a DD to go to the next place, and we barely take off. The landlord calls him back and is like, no, she can come see the place, blah blah blah. So maybe something had fallen through with them, with the person that they were gonna rent to. And the guy asked me, well, what do you want to do? Do you want to go back and look at it, or do you want to keep going forward? I was like, we gonna keep going forward. We don't look back. We go forward. That way, Wang Qianzhou. So we went to the next place, and the apartment was on the 6th floor. And I was all walking up, I'm like, but I love the little neighborhood. It was super cute. You know, the first place we saw was not giving. It was not giving. It was like 3 or 4 metro stations from the French concession. This one was actually in the heart of the French concession. And then we walked up the 6 floors, and then what happened? Right in the front of the apartment was like a flamingo welcome rug. And I was like, you guys know flamingos are my zhuzh, okay? Flamingos are my, what is called, I think it's called, Ji Shang Wu, like a good luck charm, a mascot. So when I saw that, I was like, ooh, flamingos. And then I walked in, and it was like marble and beads and like this turquoise wallpaper and a vintage style looking chairs. I was like, I'm literally like feeling it in my blood. Like I felt weird about it. I was like, what is happening? I'm looking around like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, right? Walk into the living room. There's these 2 flamingo portraits, right? And I'm like, this is my place. This is it. This is my place. He's like, okay, it's $11,000 a month. And I'm like, I can't pay $11,000 a month. Like, I really can't. I can't. Can you get the seller to go down? He was like, do you want this place? I'm like, yes, I want it. Like, I was not expecting to really find a place today. I don't want to look anywhere else. Like, I'm like, this is it. You know? It's like destiny. Yuan Fen. So he calls the landlord. Because there was like a couple different, like I think the landlord had his own realtor. I had my own realtor. So it was like 3 or 4 different people. But there was like, what was I going to say? There were like a lot of little things that I didn't care for about the apartment. Like the bed frames. What else? The light fixtures, blah, 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 blah. And, my realtor called the landlord and was like, she can do it today, but she can't do 11,000. And he was like, how about, he was like, how about 9,000? And we ended up negotiating to 9,500. And I was like, cool. And he said, with that, the landlord would do whatever you want. Like what do you want in the apartment? Okay, so I wanted a TV, new bed frames, 2 new bed frames. It was 2 bedrooms. I should have asked for Winnie the Pooh to be covered up or taken off, but because if you guys look at my apartment tour video, it was like in my guest room, there was like this huge sticker of Winnie the Pooh on the closet. But I was like, oh, I'm gonna do that myself, which never happened. But like, that's neither here nor there. Anyways, also like all of the outlets and the little light fixtures, I was like, I need those replaced. They look all janky. And he was like, okay, check. We signed the lease. I paid, he was like, you got to just pay $6,000 today. No, he wanted me to pay a whole month of rent today as a security deposit. And for some reason, banking gets so complicated when you're doing it internationally. So I had all the money, but I was not able to withdraw more than 6,000 RMB per day, $1,000 US, in one single transaction date. So I would have to wait another day or something to be able to withdraw money again. Like it was, and then not only that, but like each time you put your card into the ATM, you could only withdraw 3,000, right? Like that was the max. So it was like my bank, which is Bank of America, only allows $1,000 to be withdrawn in a 24-hour period abroad. And then the ATM itself only allows 3,000 RMB to be withdrawn in one single transaction. So I had to put my card in like 2 or 3 times, which it only allowed me to do it twice. Because 6,000 is 1,000, 6,000 RMB is 1,000 US. Anyway, and then I was like, uh-oh, I can't withdraw anymore. Can I? He's like, oh, it's fine. 6,000 is fine. Okay, perfect. I can give him like the bank transfer, like a wire transfer for the rest of the money upon moving date. So he's like, cool. I think it was like really maybe the 1st or 2nd day of October. He was like, this Friday you can move in, everything will be ready. So yeah, like the next week or the end of the week, I moved everything in and everything was great. And I gave the rest of my money. So in China, it's customary to pay 3 months at a time. So I paid 4 months of rent and all. So 1 month would be the security deposit and then 3 months of whatever. And then, yeah, you paid 3 months. But I ended up like on the 2nd leg of the next cycle being like, can I just pay you once a month? And he was like, yeah, sure, that's fine. You know, like, so all in all, that's my experience of finding an apartment. I got lucky. Like my landlord was amazing. He was so nice. Every time I had any problem with anything, I could text him on WeChat and just be like, hey, this is going on. And he would come in blink of an eye and help me and use and solve the problem, you know, like, so I don't really have advice about how to get a good landlord. I think it's just the luck of the draw, but I definitely would feel like vetting out a lot through like Craigslist and multiple realtors. Like, don't just work with one person, because if I had just worked with the one that everyone had what's it called had recommended, that would have been a bust. But like the two that I had found through Craigslist, like they were so awesome. Like it was like a group of them. And not only that, but they also, I'm talking about my realtor, they also helped me do all of the administrative stuff, like getting my registration thing with the police department and whatnot. It was just such a pleasant experience. That was my experience on finding my 2-bedroom amazing apartment. Oh my gosh, in the heart of the French concession of Shanghai. I was located right by Shanghai Library, so it was like a 5-minute walk. One way is Shanghai Library Station on line 10, and a 5-minute walk in the other direction was Hengshanlu. And I think Hengshanlu might have been line 1, or yeah, line 1. And so it was just so, oh my God, memories. Anyway, I hope this video helps someone find an apartment in Shanghai, or if you guys are looking for an apartment in Shanghai, it's like a good starting point. And I gave some decent tips in here. Yeah, so I hope you guys like this video, and don't forget to watch the other one that shows the actual apartment. You know, I'll put the link in the description. Anyway, okay. See you next video. Love you guys. Bye.